Hi, I'm coming to you on the first day of World Doula Week, so I thought we would talk about what a doula is. So, a doula is often known as somebody who attends a birth, so a birth doula. They can support the person who's birthing during labor and for a short time after. But that is just your typical birth doula. There are lots of types of doulas out there. And the training that I took, the Dynamo Doula training, is really emphasizes finding your niche in doula work. So doula work could really look like a lot of things. A doula is really somebody who just brings humanity back to the human experience. So whatever that human experience is, whether that's birth, whether that's the postpartum time, or sex, or death, or it could be so many things, menstruation, leaving religion. There's so many types of doulas out there now. I specialize in postpartum doula work, and I really like to prepare birthing people and their partners and their families for the postpartum time when they're actually pregnant. So we do a lot of work talking about birth and birth plans and prepping for birth and even prepping for baby and what baby's going to wear after and things like that. But we don't talk a lot about in our culture about the postpartum period. I like to say postpartum is forever because really postpartum just means the time after you give birth. And that birth could be to a baby, it could be a miscarriage, an abortion. It could also be maybe you're just birthing something into the world, a business, something like that. But postpartum usually is talking about the time after you have a baby. And our medical community really only identifies that as the first 6 weeks. From a medical standpoint, your uterus, takes about 6 weeks to go back to normal size. And then, depending on who you work for and where you work, maybe you'll get another 6 weeks off time to be home with your family. But in our culture here in America, usually you're back to work around 12 weeks at the most. Sometimes it's just a couple weeks. But really, traditional cultures recognize postpartum as a period where the birthing person and the baby need to be completely taken care of. So the birthing person is taken care of through nourishment, feeding warm foods and soups, stews, things like that, keeping the birthing person actually warm, and somebody else doing all of the other chores, housework, things like that for a good period of time. After you birth a baby, you have a wound internally the size of a placenta. And that wound needs to be healed, along with so many other things that could have happened with your birth, whether that's a C-section, incision, or maybe some tearing on the perineum, but also emotionally. So the postpartum doula is going to really support you emotionally as well. There's so many things that happen emotionally and spiritually and mentally when it comes to birth in the postpartum time and pregnancy. So think about a postpartum doula as a coach. Specifically, my services, coaching you through pregnancy to prepare for that and birth, and specifically for the postpartum. And then when you get to the postpartum, kind of like a one-on-one coach that not only can take care of you and build you up emotionally and build you up spiritually, but also provide education if need be. But the crux of it is really witnessing you and your vulnerable human experiences that our society unfortunately just does not like to recognize. We know that social media takes down pictures of birth all the time, and We know that the past Super Bowl didn't put a advertisement up that had a woman that was in her postpartum time in the hospital because it was too graphic. So our society doesn't really like to witness these moments, but they're some of the most vulnerable and important moments for you to go through, and you really deserve somebody who can help you feel loved and confident and seen through those moments. So, like I said, I just wanted to come in here and talk a little bit about what a doula is. If you have any questions, let me know. The biggest thing to know is that a doula is not a midwife. Midwives are a medical personnel or professional that attends births or maybe does other reproductive based medical things, but a midwife may also do doula work, but a midwife and a doula are separate things. So a doula is really here to help you on an emotional, spiritual, mental, physical, some level, and less medical, but is here to witness you and bring humanity back to your human experience. Happy first day of World Doula Week.